Welcome once again here on Regional Radio Sports. I'm Paul Condry. Glad you can join us here today. Our 2018/19 season preview of the Indiana University South Bend women's basketball preview is with you here and now. Our special guest, very good friend and athletic director of women's basketball coach at Indiana University South Bend. Great to have Steve Bruce with us here in his 13th year. That just wrapping my mind around hanging out with you for the last few years, but 13 years being as the head coach, and of course part of the growth here athletically on the South Bend campus has been entirely driven by you bringing new sports, a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, it's been a fun run for me. The athletic director thing was not planned, just kind of cropped up, and so we've taken the baton on that, tried to run with it, and we're doing pretty well. We're ready to add women's soccer in 2019. Which will be our 12th sport, and so we continue to grow, and that's good for our university, and that's good for our student athletes.
All right, let's take a look at back last year. 16 wins, 14 losses on the ledger. Pretty good record here at home, Coach. 9-6. The conference record in the CCAC, 7-13. 7-8 away from the friendly confines of the Student Activity Center. When you look back on last year, lost three young ladies: Alexander, Paige Avery, who's now a part of your coaching staff, and Sarah Rogan. All three played significant minutes for you. Were all great contributors, both on and off the floor.
Right. Yeah, it's tough to lose seniors every year. You can't really replace them per se. They all have their own individual personalities and the things they do well. We just try to bring the next group in and have them, again, try to take the baton. I hate to be repetitive with that statement, but do that and try to leave the jersey in a better place. I think that's another thing. We talk to our seniors about try to leave the jersey in a better place. So we'll miss those three. We're youthful in terms of seniors this year, and Kazuki's our only senior, and she's a phenomenal young lady, actually running cross-country at the same time she's doing basketball here. So Erin will step in. She'll play a great role in a leadership position. She'd probably back up Kylie Kubik at the 2 spot, give us some real strong minutes. So
the strength and the heart of the program. 5 juniors, 6 sophomores coming in. You brought in a couple freshmen to help with the mix, but the reality of it is, if you're going to win, it's because of those sophomores and juniors.
Yeah, those 2 classes are very strong. If we had to roll out a starting team today, we would start probably 3 juniors and 2 sophomores. And so, though it may seem semi-youthful, just to say that we don't have a lot of seniors, that junior and sophomore class and those young ladies that are going to be playing have significant experience.
Sure. When you look at this team from a year ago, it averaged 69.5 points a game, gave up right around 66 points a game. That's just some of the numbers to throw your way. There's some areas that I know that you were happy with. You out-rebounded your opponents by 5 rebounds per contest. You shot 74% from the line. There's not a coach in America who would say that's not bad, so you'll take that. When you look at this statistically, you shot 37% from beyond the arc. So the numbers were really pretty good. Can you improve on any of those dynamics?
No, that's a great question. I thought offensively we were pretty good. We made a commitment last year to be a good offensive rebounding team. It showed up in the numbers. We started doing something that, maybe a little bit unsound basketball-wise, and that was sending our point guard to rebound as well. So we're rebounding with 4 people. That's difficult to do, and then ask your point guard also to stop the ball, to rebound and then stop the ball. But the 2 point guards that we had last year were both athletically capable of doing that. So that helped us because they cleaned up some extra misses. So, offensive rebounding was a strength of ours. As you mentioned, we shot the ball from the free throw line very well. We shot it from 3 very well. Can we improve on those things? Good question. I don't know. I think the main thing that needs to improve for us is we've got to find get to a degree of mental toughness where when we are in tight games, we're going to be the ones that come out on top. And we lost probably 5 last year. Off the top of my head, Kokomo 1 point, twice to Robert Morris by 3, once to Cardinal Stritch by 3. I'm forgetting another one. But there were 5 down to the wire games that we lost. And then we also, in all on me on this one, but we had a 19-point lead against Trinity Christian going into the fourth quarter and lost that game. So we spent the spring talking about the importance of mental toughness, and that's the difference when you get to the college level, because the difference in skill from team to team is not tremendous. It's in the 6 inches above the 6 feet, basically.
You know, before we break down players, but the coaching staff is really a unique dynamic. Terry Leake came in last year and provided some really quality coaching, but this year you brought in 2 first-year former players, Jess
Right.
Alexander, who spent 1 year with you,
Right.
who's got a great pedigree, played pro at Penn High School locally, and then Paige Avery, a 4-year player for you, who went to nearby Mishawaka High
Right.
School. So you've got some gals who you had a chance to watch grow up and make significant contributions to the program in different capacities, in different roles, if you will. So let's just talk about the coaching staff and the dynamics and how that's going to play itself out.
Okay, great question. Terry joined us last year, again, kind of an unplanned out of the blue thing, and he was super. He brings his own set of strengths as a coach. He's very good with the ball handling stuff. He's very good with individual workouts, and he's a defensive-minded guy. And so that kind of freed me up to work with the offense, kind of the coordinator
Sure.
model, I guess. And then it's always great to have the former players come back because they understand how things go, and they understand the system, the expectations, the standards, etc. And Paige and Jess are great ambassadors for our program, and we probably will have them for 2 seasons, this being the first. So anytime you can get, as you know, stability and consistency with your staff, everything is better because of that.
All right, let's go back and just talk about those juniors and sophomores, if you will, Coach.
Sure.
And kind of give us an idea on what the expectations for them are in regards to the coaching staff, and how do you think they have grown over the course of their time in the program?
Well, good question. So our junior class, Kylie Kubik, came with us last year, transferred from Grand Valley State after a freshman, had a great sophomore year, was our leading scorer. Vicky Gard will be a 3-year starter for us. Vicky was, I think, honorable mention all-conference as a freshman, and had a great freshman year. Struggled a little bit last year. Her statistics don't show that, but I know she wasn't pleased with herself. She's ready to have a bounce-back year. Bailey Carithers, young lady who was going to be in a backup point guard role for us this year, and she's coming off an ACL, which she unfortunately tore in April, just playing pickup basketball. She's doing well in her rehabilitation, and within the next couple weeks is going to be cleared to get involved in some things. So we're hoping to have her back, certainly for conference play in January. Taylor Wesley, young lady who's really come a long way for us. She spent the last 2 summers really dedicating herself to getting better. She'll be our 4 for us this year. Taylor's proven that she can really shoot the ball well from 3, but she also has the ability to drive it. She's got a great body for a 4. We're trying to get her to become a better offensive rebounder. I think she's kind of making that her number 1 priority this year. And she's really going to help us at the 4 spot. And let's see, who am I overlooking here? Oh, Lynn Shields. Yeah, Lynn transferred in from Spring Arbor. So she played her freshman year and her sophomore year at Spring Arbor and transferred in this year. She's going to be a great addition to our posts. We have 3 post players. I say posts, but we could be more specific and say 3-5 players. That are all going to kind of work together as a team, and she's one of them, which leads us to the sophomore class. 2 of the other 5 players, Courtney Haynes, who spent most of last season redshirting. We needed her toward the very end because we got thin with some injuries. She went to Eastbrook High School. She's going to be outstanding for us. And then Courtney Raymer, who played, I think, 17 games last year before she got shut down with kind of a bad case of shin splints. So we're trying to get those 3-5 players because they all bring different things to the table, again, to see if they can combine collectively to give us 40 good minutes at the 5 spot. And I think they can.
All right, now let's take a look at the schedule as well as the preseason schedule, the league schedule, and your just general thoughts on the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference as a whole.
Okay. Well, we year in, year out, we'll play 20 conference games and 10 non-conference games. Our non-conference games are pretty much, for the most part, they are consistent. We have relationships with other schools. So, for instance, we'll play Grace College, our first game every year. We play them here one year, next year at their place. So the non-conference schedule is competitive for sure. We've added Huntington actually for not this season, but we're starting up home and home with them next season. So I like our non-conference schedule because it puts us in a position, gets us ready to compete for conference play. And then with regard to the CCAC, we kind of have this conversation every year. Super strong league. There are no teams that, with the third year, I guess, emergence of Cal College, they'll be better this year. They were the team the past couple years that you could say was struggling, and Coach Helm would admit that most teams are going to probably be able to win against them. This is his third year. They've done some more recruiting. I'm not sure that they are that team anymore. They're going to be competitive, which leads me to say in a long way that I think there are no easy games in our league. There are challenging games and there are more challenging games. And that's just the way it is, We got to be ready to lace them up. We got to be locked in, and we got to be able to do it every single night that we play.
Steve Bruce, the head women's basketball coach, Indiana University South Bend, and athletic director. Steve, thanks for taking time. And don't forget, you can check out IUSB women's basketball right here on Regional Radio Sports. For JP Gilbert, I'm Paul Condry. We'll see you next time.